And there we go. Good evening, everybody. How are we? Periscope. Just going to let people join for a couple of minutes. Good evening, Sasha's straight in. Boom. Good evening, Sasha. Back from Disneyland. I think Alex is here. Great to see you, Alex. Yeah, Sasha, saw you with all your Minnie Mouse stuff, and you made some Mickey and Minnie Mouse cookies, which looks amazing. Fanny's here. Good evening, Fanny. Just giving people like I say, a few minutes to join. For those who haven't got a clue who I am, if you're joining for the first time, and for those watching on the replay who are like, who's this guy? My name's Ross. Hi, Alex. I'm an actor from Manchester in the UK. I'm a voiceover artist as well, but I'm also fascinated with science-backed positive psychology, basically mind hacks, motivation hacks. Mustafa's here. Good evening. Things that are going to help you get further in your life faster. So I scope twice a week. It's not exclusively to do with the acting industry. It's literally just to do with life. Yeah, I scope twice a week. Once on a Monday night, which is tonight, which is I'll talk about the meetup in a second, guys. Tonight is something called Motivation and Mind Hacks that we do on a Monday, and then on a Wednesday night we do book club. So we're gonna have a new book to look at this Wednesday. Hey Ross, sure I am, says Sasha. I haven't been on for a while. Glad to be back watching. Great. Alex can't wait for Saturday. So Saturday, guys, if you're Manchester based or Northern based in the UK, and you're an actor particularly, I run a website called Act On This. You can find it at actonthis.tv, and we're going to do a new in-person meet-up now once a month, the first Saturday of every month, at an amazing space in Manchester called Home. It's a theatre, but it's also a amazing cafe and kind of like restaurant-y type place where you can get some food and cake and coffee and acting chat. Nina says, great interview with Chris Stone. Yeah, we did. Have you seen it, guys? Let me know if you've seen it. The first episode of Act On This TV. It's literally what I've always wanted to create for Act On This. I'm still going to carry on smashing the podcasts out, doing the live broadcast. We're going to get back onto that now. But these TV style interviews that I've done, the first one's with Chris. Find it actonthis.tv. It's on the homepage right now. I'm going to do these I want to do them every 2 weeks eventually. It looks like it's going to be once a month for now, but then it will be once every 2 weeks. And I'm talking... Alex will be anywhere where there is cake. Excellent. I'm talking about the biggest names in the industry now. Chris was he's going to be the director on them, so I wanted to have him on for the first interview. And then now we're looking at really big names. I won't, in case it falls through, I won't say anything. But I'm talking people who are big. You will have not just heard of, but watched for decades. Some really, really big stuff, and also people from behind the camera as well. So some of the most experienced and the biggest executive producers from the biggest production companies in the UK. It's not just about, they're the guys who employ the casting directors. So ultimately they're the guys at the top of the tree. So that's just important. Sasha says she loves hearing from people behind the camera, but yeah, and cameramen, directors, first assistant directors, second assistant directors, people who can kind of give you the side of the industry that you just don't see. You know what it's like working as an actor, but you don't know what it's like, as a cameraman working with an actor and going, actually, how can you make my job easier? If I was a cameraman, how can the actor make my job easier? Because you don't normally get that much kind of interaction with people like that. So you both get a better product out of it. You want to be friends with the cameraman. One person you want to be friends with massively is the editor. All right, that's something that's that's the little secret. If you can become friends with whoever's going to edit the TV shows you're on, or the short films you're on, or something like that, then that's who you want to be friends with, because they're the guys who are going to be able to favour you and keep the edit on you longer than they keep it on the person opposite you. So you want to be friends with them. Don't upset the editor, or you'll find that basically your scenes will all be on the other person. You'll still hear you, but you'll very rarely see you. They'll just flick to you occasionally. Whereas if you're mates with the editor, they'll hold it on you a lot longer. Warren's here. Good evening, Warren. Sasha said, yeah, and DOPs, yeah, director of photography. They're the head cameramen. It's really important, I think, to hear from everyone in the industry, because I think for so long the industry, from the actor's perspective, is focused on agents and casting directors, and that's it. And I don't even think a lot of actors, and I hold my hands up for this as well, for a long time, most people don't even know what producers do. What it is to produce something. It's, or what it is to be a production coordinator. All the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. It's really interesting. And if you can make contact with these people in these production companies, it can only benefit you. It really can. It can only be a plus for you. So we've had a few crazy days, guys, haven't we? Bloody hell. I'm not getting into politics tonight. I've had enough of it. I've had enough of the referendum for now. Acting Mechanics is here. Rach is here. Good evening. So we're not going to dive into politics, but it's been a few mental days. Social media has been absolutely just overwrought with crazy comments on both sides of the argument. You know, doomsday, everything's going to go terrible. Other people going, oh, you know, now we're out of Europe, I want everybody out, all this sort of stuff. It's mental, so we're not going to go into that. But one thing it's highlighted for me is the fact that so easily our default position as human beings, and we know this from everything else I've spoken about for years, is that we slide towards the negative naturally. We have this negativity bias that's in all of us. Really rears its head at times of uncertainty. Even if you're in control of you've got emotional mastery, you're in control of your emotions, you're in control of your psychology. In times of uncertainty, it's natural to kind of go and just slide back over to the negative. And then what we do is there's a phenomenon known as negative stacking. For those who have done Bulletproof Actor, the mindset program that I brought out earlier this year, you'll know about negative stacking. And you might lie in bed at night negative stacking. A lot of people do, and they turn a little problem about like, oh, how something's not gone right in their day that day, and they stack something else negative on top of that, which leads to something else negative, something else negative, something else negative, and before they know it, they've written themselves off and their life's a disaster before they've even gone to sleep that night, which is crazy. So I've seen that happen so much, and tonight's scope, I want to remind people that actually, you know what, guys, regardless, in or out of Europe, whatever situation you're in, whatever side of the fence you're on, anything like that, and even if the referendum didn't exist, we live in a society today that has never, ever been more abundant, okay? Never in the history of man have we as a society had more opportunity, had more money, had more technology at our disposal. It's never really been easier for anybody in the past to succeed as it is today. It's more, you know, there's just more resources available to you today than there's ever been to any other generation on this planet, okay? So don't forget that. So tonight I want to look at 3 reasons why we are very privileged. Sasha, she says we're very privileged. We are. 3 reasons why it's easier to succeed than ever before, okay? Now these aren't rocket science at all, but these are just 3 things that I was thinking of before. I was like, yeah, and people need to remember this. And I want you to give me, I want you to be honest with me. There's some questions at each. I've got 3 slides here with the 3 reasons on, and then a question at the end of each slide. And I want you to be honest and tell me your answer, you know, to the question. And with you saying that, Sasha, as well, we're privileged. Honestly, guys, if you live in the UK, regardless of what level you work at, whether you are unemployed or you are working as a CEO of a big bank or whatever, you are still, even at the lowest level of the UK, you are still in the top 1% of the most wealthiest people on the planet, all right? Never forget that, okay? Never forget that. So these are some of the small things here, guys, that really should probably maybe be the big things in your life. But first of all, as an actor, a lot of these apply to acting, but they apply to everything else in your life as well, whether it's business, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your spirituality, your emotional mastery, anything like that. You can apply these to all of them. The first one might be a little bit more applicable to acting. But yeah, so number 1, all right, regardless of what you're trying to promote, and this is something that I've realised after interviewing Chris as well, for those who have watched the interview I did with Chris. Chris released he's got his latest web series, Year of Spies, but he also had a web series called Blood and Bone China before that, which was absolutely massive, literally got millions of hits on YouTube. So number 1, okay, if you're telling yourself it's really, really hard to succeed in the acting industry these days, is this. Number 1, right, you've got access to massive, massive, massive free exposure, okay? I mean, look at what we're doing now. Look at the exposure that I've got for free now using a free piece of technology called Periscope. I've seen people take screenshots of this, and by all means do that. There will be a PDF download of this available on actsonthis.tv tomorrow, along with the replay of this Periscope. So number 1, Sasha's saying yes and clapping. Marketing is critical for both your acting career and life success, right? Okay, in life, regardless of whether you're an actor or not, life is about 2 things: sell or be sold. So at any one time in your life, you're either selling yourself or you are being sold to. And that applies to literally everything. From the minute you walk into the coffee shop and you're buying a coffee, to the person you're speaking to in the queue, selling yourself, your personality, who you are. So at any one time, you're either selling or you're being sold to, okay? So marketing is massive in all areas of your life, okay? If you've got something really unique to offer to the world, but nobody knows about you and your services, then you're setting yourself up for failure. Just a few years ago, you needed television. Sasha feels like a brand sometimes, she says. You needed television, the radio, or the newspapers to get you and your ideas in front of an audience, all right? The internet and social media has revolutionized everything. Literally, what I am doing now wouldn't have been possible even in 2015, okay? This isn't, 2015 Periscope did come out, I think. So yeah, in 2014, this wouldn't have been possible just a couple of years ago. The internet, and social media has revolutionized everything. The biggest free platforms in the universe are YouTube and Facebook. And I'm telling you here, Snapchat will also be gigantic soon as well. As an actor, you can put yourself in front of millions of people pretty much instantly, okay? So the question at the bottom there, are you really making enough noise in the world right now? Are you, genuinely, are you? Or are you holding yourself back? Are you like, actually, you know what, I've got this show reel made that I'm actually quite proud of, but I'm still ever so slightly shitting my pants, excuse my French, of putting it out there. If I put it out on my Facebook, or are all my friends who aren't actors going to think, what an absolute beep, for putting his show reel out there? Are you in Facebook groups like we've got on Act On This, facebook.com/groups/Act On This TV, Facebook group we've got for Act On This TV, nearly 2,000 members now. By all means, don't do it every day, but are you putting your show reel out there for people to see? I noticed someone do it tonight, and I'm all up for that. I don't want the whole wall spammed with just give me a job, give me a job, give me a job. But if you're putting your show reel up there once every 2 or 3 weeks, and that's totally cool. Are you doing it in other groups? Are you putting it out on Twitter? Are you making enough noise, basically? Are you banging your own drum loud enough? I bang my own drum all the time. I mean, look what we're doing now. But genuinely, do you think you are? Give me some answers. Do you think you put yourself out there? And if not, tell me why not. Is it because you're maybe a little bit apprehensive, or maybe you don't believe enough in yourself a little bit? I think we all have a bit of that. Maybe you're not super confident just yet in your ability, maybe, or what you're putting out there. Maybe you're limiting yourselves by saying, well, I'll do it once I've got another scene on my show reel, or I'll do it when I get that headshot. Are you putting yourself out on YouTube, via Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram? And it's not about being vain and just being, I'm just going to put a selfie on. It's about putting stuff out there of value. I don't think you've ever done a Periscope without a Starbucks. I don't know. I don't know if I am. Alex. It's the fuel. It's the fuel of the future for me. But yeah, let me know. Think about that, and then we'll go on to point 2. I try my best to put my show reel up in that tweet to you and Chris. Yes, you did, Nina. I saw that. Great. Chris has already seen that. I can feel ashamed of putting show reel out or selling myself. Yeah, absolutely seems ego filled. Exactly, Fanny. Totally get it. Definitely, I find it hard to stop doing things sometimes. Are you sponsored by Starbucks? No, Anna. I wish I was. That'd be great. Yeah, we do have, and maybe is it a British thing? I don't know. Tony Rossi's not on the scope tonight. He's American. He'd be able to tell us. But maybe we do have this reservation where I think we were told as kids in the UK, particularly maybe my generation. Sasha, you're a bit younger. Maybe you can relate to this or not. Let me know. Where it's kind of like not that cool to show off. It's kind of like your parents would say, "Stop showing off," or just things like that would encourage you from disencourage you from from putting yourself out there as much. We must not be proud of ourselves. Yeah, humble pie, says Fanny. Yeah, exactly. And what I say to people, I think British people are a bit too proud sometimes, says Sasha. What I say to people is don't apologise for being you. And it's not, there's a difference between confidence and arrogance, massively, huge difference in that. But you should be absolutely proud of your achievements and what you're doing and putting yourself out there. And you don't have to apologise for that. And those friends of yours, and we say loosely friends on Facebook, who you are friends with, are going to embrace that. other people who you put in your show reel out kind of makes them feel inferior, or highlights their inadequacies because maybe they're an actor and they haven't updated their show reel in 6 months or whatever, they might be the ones who give you some flack for it, or don't give you anything for it, just don't like it or don't do anything at all because it highlights their insecurities. I notice often the quiet ones on Facebook are most successful though. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what it comes down to is you need the goods to back it up, Fanny. Okay, so I say insecurity is loud. Okay, and confidence is silent, effectively, or I like a quiet kind of confidence. So what I do is I will put stuff out there because I have to promote everything I'm doing all the time, but I only put it out there once it's done. So I won't put out there something like, oh, got an idea for doing this, I'm going to be amazing, and then I don't do it or follow through on it. I would only do that if I know I'm in the middle of it and it's looking good. You've got to, be able to back it up. I've noticed that too, Sasha. Sometimes people work hard behind closed doors and don't crack on. I understand, yeah. So once you've got the product, then you can shout about it. So if don't put a tweet out going, I'm gonna get a great new show reel, I'm gonna be better than everyone else before you've got it. As an actor, you are the brand. You should be selling yourself. You are a business. Absolutely, Nina, 100%. Because if you don't, what's the point in me having I could have the best show reel, ever on my phone here. Someone sent me the files, I've filmed it all, I've got it on here. If I don't put it out there and make some noise about it, who's going to see it? Nobody. So ultimately, yeah, it's actions speak louder than words. I say sometimes to people, don't talk about something, show something. Don't tell people about it, show them. So, I was kind of giving clues out about the interview I was doing with Chris and the new stuff for Acts on This. Along the way, but I wasn't confident to bang on too much about it until it was done. And then when it's done and it's at the standard I wanted it to be, then I'm totally confident. I'm made up with it. I think it's great what we've done. It's going to get better as we go along. So I'm more than happy to give that out to anybody online. The biggest names out there, because I'm like, yeah, come and be on this show because we make it to such a level that I think you're going to want to be on it. But I only do that because I feel I can back it up. So if you feel you can back it up, or you've got something to show, literally, if you've got something to show, I would say throw your hat into the ring. Got nothing to lose. So regardless of what you think of your show reel or whatever, if you've got something and you're not putting it out there, take your hat off, throw it in the ring and see what happens. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Absolutely, Nina, definitely. Your belief in yourself determines absolutely the action you take based on that belief. So if you don't believe in your potential, you're going to take very little action, you're going to get shit results, and then you're going to feel worse about yourself. It feeds back into your belief of your potential, which you see as less. You take even less action, you get even worse results. What you need to start doing, everybody, not you, Nina, everybody, start believing in your potential, in yourself. Take massive action. By default, you'll get great results. You'll say, I told you so. It feeds back into your belief about yourself, which means you feel you've got greater potential, you take even bigger action. And that's where it starts. Fanny says it's all about the belief. It is. That's literally where it begins. It's where it begins, the belief in your own potential, which as a human being, trust me guys, seriously is limitless unless you're super, super unfortunate and you are massively, kind of disabled in some way, hugely physically or mentally, whatever that is, your potential is limitless. You must believe in that and take that action that aligns with that. Number 2, and this blows my mind when I think about it. Who remembers as a kid, when I don't know, I mean, I'm only 33. Sasha won't remember this. Some of the guys a bit older than me on here will. But when you're doing your school projects, you had to go to the library and physically get a book, and then you would have to copy it out, handwrite it out. Who had like what was the encyclopedia called? That your mum and dad always had like an encyclopedia in the house that you could go and flip to, and it had like pictures of animals in and nature in and all that kind of stuff. It blows my mind to think that we all used to have those big books in the house, and then it became digital a little bit on a CD for your computer, and we had something called Encarta, which was Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica, Nina, yes, that's it. So we all had Britannica, and then you got Encarta, which was on a CD when computers came with CDs. Amazing. Nowadays, it absolutely astounds me when I think that you have access to the knowledge of the entire world on your phone, guys. I mean, this is insane, right? A big complaint in the pre-digital era was the difficulty in accessing the right information, all right? Sure, there were acting workshops out there were books, and of course, mentors. They've always been there, all right? However, not everyone could afford to go to acting workshops, and not everybody could connect that easily with mentors, particularly outside of London. You know, if you lived in the sticks somewhere, there was no internet, no digital era, you couldn't just hook up online, okay? You know, it's harder to find those mentors. Today, though, you can sit at your laptop and you can watch video clips. You can take part in webinars, watch interviews, stuff like I do, workshop recordings, or read ebooks on anything and everything, literally everything. You can reach casting directors, agents, and mentors in seconds via social media. So this question is, are you leveraging this power on a daily basis? Tony Rossi is here. Good evening, Tony. How are we doing? You've missed 2 of the 3 points, dude. But you can always go back and watch the replay. So yeah, so point 2, why it's easier to succeed now than ever before is you have access to the entire, well, the knowledge of the entire planet, you know, pretty much for free. Okay, you will be able to find, you know, you can watch, Twitter is my Bible at the moment, says Sasha. From an acting perspective, who's seen the Michael Caine acting workshop? That's, you can watch it on YouTube. You know, it's someone's ripped it from a video that he put out sometime in the 80s. There's some really big named actors on there who were just students at the time. But you know, stuff like that is like absolutely invaluable. Super, you know, I would pay hundreds of pounds to sit in that audience and watch that acting class. Fanny's seen it, Nina said it's brilliant. And yet you can watch that for free, sat on your phone on the train if you want, with some headphones in. You know, it's never been easier to get knowledge on any subject, whether that's actually, you know what, I'd be a better actor if I was in better shape because I'm doing a stage production that requires more physicality, so I need to get more health orientated information. I need to look up nutrition, need to look up exercise. You can find that. You know, oh, I'd be a better actor if I knew how to self-tape, so I need to look up a little bit of you know, how to film something. You can find information on how to do that in seconds. I think this all the time. Unbelievably lucky, says Fanny. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it is. It was so privileged, and yet we're so complacent at the same time because we're just like, oh yeah, you know, well, you know, that's just normal, innit? Everybody's kind of got that. And like, I remember in my lifetime when we didn't have that. You know, Sasha, don't even know you're bloody born, but it's amazing. Okay, it's amazing that you have access to as much knowledge, well, more knowledge than you could ever take in. You know, from medical stuff. You know, who finds like, you know, some kind of rash or something? No, I don't mean a dodgy one. You know, or you know, or falls over and hurts themselves, or wakes up with a twinge in the neck, Googles it, and then you find out you can diagnose yourself with whatever. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. I found a killer group myself. Love videos on mindset, and it's outside of my own country. There you go, Tony. Tony's part of this group, and he's not even this is breaking boundaries. Live videos, exactly, which is amazing. You know, look how we've all come together. Yeah, I mean, you know, we've broken geographical boundaries. You know, time zones. Alex says he does that all the time. He says he's got cancer. Yeah, you've got to watch out because literally any symptoms you put in will tell you you've got cancer. Don't worry about that. It's fine. I'm glad to hear for a change. Usually I'm saying that to 17-year-olds. Sasha, you're very young. Don't worry about it. I still feel really young at 33. I'm sure everyone on here, even the more senior guys here, you never age in your head, do you? You never age in your head. Nina, how old do you feel? I'm not saying you're the oldest, by the way. I didn't know you're a bit older than me. But how old do you feel in your head? Fanny, how old do you feel in your head? Because I bet you don't feel more than 25. I don't think I really, I don't know, maybe like, I think I kind of changed it to the person that I was going to be around 28. You know, it's, I don't think I'm going to change that much now. Especially actors, we never feel old. I do forget my age sometimes, says Sasha. 30, there you go, 30, Nina. Warren, how old do you feel, dude? I bet we all feel around that. Tony's 28, he feels incredibly young. Tony's up at 5 o'clock in the morning, working out in front of his TV, drinking green drinks. You know, he's all over it. It's going to keep you young. I've got a new green smoothie this week, guys, called, what's it called? Oh, I can't remember. I'll bring it on next time though. It's pretty nice. It's melon flavoured, but it's lots of greens. Primal greens or something it's called, but it's good. Tony says it tastes like chocolate usually. Well, you know, at least it looks healthy. Right, point number 3. This kind of Warren feels about 10 some of the time. Amazing. This kind of feeds on. So point number 3 of why it's never been easier to succeed than it is today kind of leads on from point number 2. And I want to do more features on this via Act on This. So I want you to tell me what you're not comfortable with, because I'm very comfortable with this. So I'll be able to create videos, blog posts, anything like that that's going to help you deal with any of this. And that is that we have never been more blessed with technology. Never. Okay, gone are the days, and I remember this, when you could only send an email from your PC or only make a Skype call through your 2 megapixel webcam at home. In fact, 2 megapixels was pretty bloody good. Gone also are the days when you'd get lost on the way to a casting because you'd left your printed map on the train. Who's ever done that? Printed out a map or some road directions, left them somewhere. Okay, all these inconveniences have been solved and replaced with something better through today's technology. You can do all of these things and more through your smartphone or your iPad. I'm on my iPad periscoping now. Sending emails, networking, managing your finances, tracking goals, hugely important one, learning through podcasts, scheduling appointments, etc. All of these can be done on your phone or your iPad. Are you intimidated by technology? And if so, it's time to embrace it instead. So I want you to let me know what scares you, if anything, about tech. What might be stopping you putting yourself out there in the world? You know, and if I can create tutorials or anything to kind of help people doing that, whether it's self-taping. There's something happened this week with the software that runs the listings database on Act on This. And it looks like I'm in a bit of a quandary at the moment whether it's worth rebuilding it with some software that is supported now and will be supported for the future, because it was programmed 5 years ago, the listings database. It's a bit outdated now. Or whether I spend that money on more features, you know, on more interviews, on more podcasts, on more Acts on This TV episodes. And I'm going to show people how you find casting directors' details without the listings database. Very, very simple. Spotlight now is an app casting directors can use to look up actors. It works in our favour. Yeah, absolutely. Spotlight does casting networks, UK that we have over here. Tony, you guys will probably have casting networks international, where you are in the States. It's a bit like Actors Access and that kind of thing. Yeah, they have their own apps and things that casting directors can use. They're providing more technology to the industry that makes everybody else's job easier. But for you, is there anything that you guys are like, oh, well, you know, I've never self-taped before, or, you know, I don't know where to find this information, or how to use the internet to find contact details, how to use IMDb, you know, that kind of stuff, or just anything that's tech-based. You know, maybe it's lighting your self-tapes, maybe it's getting better audio on your self-tapes. You know, all of that kind of stuff. If there is anything, then tweet me and let me know at Ross A. Grant or at Act on This TV, and I'll produce you know, kind of tutorials and stuff on that. But yeah, we've never had more technology. The CDG website is brilliant, Nina. I got a lot of information for the listings database from the CDG website. You know, ultimately, you know, there was a few email addresses on there in the listings database that I'd got personally that weren't in contacts and that weren't in on the CDG. But I will give everybody who's a premium member on Act on This, who would have access to the listings database, a spreadsheet of everything that's currently on there for you to update yourself over time. Spanny's a bit of a technophobe. Editing is interesting. I think it's handy for actors to be able to edit. Yeah, maybe if it's just something like that. Yeah, editing. You know, I spend a shed load of time editing video. You know, editing those TV interviews takes quite a long time. We have casting networks with Tony, which I believe you have too. Yeah, we also have Actors Access. Yeah, absolutely. Can't believe Spotlight used to be a book. How casting directors had to sift through a huge book to find an actor. Say, yeah, this is what I mean. And Alex, that wasn't even that many years ago. It really, really wasn't. I remember when Spotlight went online. It wasn't. It's got to be less than. It's got to be less than a decade ago. I remember when I was working for casting directors, probably 7 years ago, where all of our castings, once we'd filmed people on little handy cams, little Sony tiny little tape-based handycams, we would then get that footage, we'd have to encode it onto a computer, and then we'd have this big duplicator, like a massive PC tower with lots of drives in it, and we would replicate all of those castings onto a CD, like a DVD, and then we'd have to post that off to the producer and the director. I mean, it's insane. We'd spend 3 hours after a casting getting stuff ready to send off to people. Stuff would come through. Michael Jackson was telling me at Beverly Keogh's, you know, about stuff when he used to have stuff faxed through to him. Suggestions would be faxed through, which is mental. Nina can't believe Spotlight still do the books. They do. There's some old school casting directors out there. Nearly everybody I speak to on the podcast, actually. Jill Trevellick, who cast Downton Abbey, loves the books. I think Andy Pryor said he loves the books. I used to love the books when I was at uni. We just sit there at dinner, just flicking through them. When you find super famous people in Spotlight as well, some of them, like John Cleese one year had his picture in Spotlight, a full-length picture of him leant against a tree in a bunny outfit, like a Bugs Bunny outfit. So it's crazy. Some of the pictures you see in Spotlight are a bit mental. When they're super famous, they don't need to worry about it, do they? But yeah, you know, technology is unbelievable, and we forget it. I mean, this is unbelievable. I'm broadcasting live video to dozens of people on the internet right now, you know, around the world, and my iPad isn't plugged into anything. It's being fed by some invisible Wi-Fi it's just interpreting. This camera is taking my picture, interpreting that into ones and zeros, sending it across the internet. It's being decoded at your end, and then it's being put into a picture on your phone. It's mental. The dial-up, my mum used to tell me to get off so she could use the phone. Yeah, when we all used dial-up internet, it was amazing. You know, you'd ring it up, it's like as you try to dial in, which is crazy. It was like 2p a minute. It's crazy what we have now. It has never been easier, guys, to succeed if you embrace this stuff. So the things I want you to embrace this week are these 3 things, from 3 to 1. Embrace technology. Alex did a great impression of dial-up there. Thanks, Alex. Embrace technology. Are you using it enough? Are you learning about it enough? You know, maybe you just need to enhance your knowledge, and if you're not learning about it enough, don't worry, because point number 2 is that you have access to every piece of knowledge on the planet on the internet. You literally have access to every single piece of information, knowledge that's out there, and you don't have to worry about getting Encyclopedia Britannica or Encarta on a CD for your PC that took about 6 years to load up. You've got that at your fingertips on your phone. And then number 1, the biggest thing for me is you've never had it better than this for getting massive free exposure. Are you utilising things like Periscope, things like Snapchat, things like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube? And if that feeds back into that I'm afraid of technology, then use point 2, which is learn about it. You know, learn about it and utilise those around you who know about it. Seriously, if I can help you and you think it's going to be beneficial for the group, you know, for all actors, then let me know about what that is, and I'll create a feature on it. I couldn't Periscope until I had an iPhone recently. Says Alex, well, now you have. You start Periscoping. You know what I'd love people to do? Windows phones are rubbish. She says, well, I'm an Apple fan, but I won't after this in and out vote thing. I'm not slagging anything off at all. I've got a little note for myself here saying tell people about posting videos. What I want, would you be up for this? In the Facebook group, okay, facebook.com/groups/Act on This TV. Tony, I know you're up for it because you do Facebook Live all the time and Periscope and that kind of thing. I would love people, for us to galvanise this group even more and make it stronger and make more people in the group interact, and you know, and basically us to get to know each other. We know each other quite well because we're on here twice a week, and we have been for nearly a year. Do you know this is the 106th Periscope that we've been on, guys, which is crazy. I would love it if people would do a 2-minute introductory video of themselves on their phone, saying who they are, you know, where they're from, the experience they've had of the acting industry so far, and what their goals are for this year and what their next step is in order to get there. Anyone afraid of posting videos? You'd be surprised how many people are going, I love what you do. Absolutely, Tony, because people don't. honestly, this kind of stuff, like, people love video interaction, you know, when they can see somebody. It's one thing writing a post on Facebook, it's something else seeing somebody deliver those words out of their mouth. I would love it if people would do that. And then, you know, and then we're hopefully going to meet people as well at the meetups. Tony, we're doing an in-person meetup once a month on a Saturday, first Saturday of every month in Manchester in the UK, if you fancy flying over. Nina's up for doing that, amazing. And just say at the start of it, hey guys, this is my introductory video. You know, and then let's get that. What hashtag could we use for it? I bet you were worried at first with your videos, Ross. Alex, you would not believe, mate. Seriously, I think my remember who was on the first Periscope I ever did? Anybody? Was anybody here on it? Because I was like, right. I mean, I'm used to doing video and presenting and stuff like that, but I was like, I've never done live. What if no one turns up? What if there's no one to interact with? Imagine if no one turned up. I'd be talking on my own right now. Sasha was on it. Amazing. Nina was on it. Thank you. Appreciate you. And guys, wasn't I was like, I don't know if anyone's even here, if anyone's going to be listening to this, if there's any point in me doing this. And then the people who are on there, I committed that night to doing 30 Periscopes on the bounce, one a night for 30 nights consecutively. And guys, we smashed it, didn't we? You know, by the end of it, I mean, we do 2 a week now, but we were doing on a weekend as well. I don't know if we're doing on a weekend. We were doing like 7 a week. I was terrified of my first Facebook Live video, got great feedback. Yeah, absolutely. And because, Tony, people respect the fact that you're putting your hat into the arena, and those who don't respect that would never have the guts, would never have the balls to do the same. So you can disregard all those people. I applaud anybody, you know. You know, people are afraid of walking the gym for the first time, you know, or if I see someone who's, you know, who's maybe particularly overweight walking into that gym, I don't laugh at them or go, you know, you shouldn't be here. I'm like, I will, you know, I won't, obviously it's mental, but, you know, I would applaud them for walking in there, you know, or if I'm on a run on a Sunday, I run on a Sunday, quite a long distance, and you know, I'll see people out there who may be running for the first time, and yeah, they might be overweight or whatever, but you know, I'm like, massive respect, because every step you're taking, whether it's dead, it's gonna be slower than me, because I'm you know, I run all the time, you know, I'm kind of used to it. But the effort you're putting into one of your steps is maybe the equivalent of what takes me in 5 steps or something like that, because they're lifting more, they're working harder, and I'm like, man, you know, hats off, applause. So anybody who puts themselves out there or does something for the first time, I've got nothing but admiration for them. You know, and if you do a Facebook Live video or a Periscope and it's not polished, mine aren't. I mean, look, the other day my iPad fell over. How many times have we had people ringing me when I'm doing a scope? Stuff's falling over. You know, I'm spilling coffee. My slides have printed out with the wrong titles on. Done is better than perfect, isn't it? We say that all the time. So I just do it, and I'd rather create something. I'm my happiest when I'm creating something, regardless of whether it's great or not. As long as I'm creating something, I'm all right. You know, and we can learn by feedback from that. So do it, but please put yourself on tape. And the iPad doesn't work. What do you mean, Alex? My iPad or yours? Or this doesn't work? I hope it does. I hope it is working. Put yourself on video. Yeah, just do a little selfie thing, and just honestly be 2 minutes. Just introduce yourself. Hi, this is my introductory video. My name's Alex, Nina, Sasha, Tony, whatever. Oh yeah, I've had problems with the iPad in the past. Oh yeah, Alex, absolutely, yeah, you've been on quite a lot. So where literally it's just cut out completely, or the battery's gone and I've had to go and charge it up, and I've gone, guys, wait 5 minutes. And then just, yeah, tell us what your experience of the industry so far, what it is you're after over the next 6 months, because we're halfway through the year now. So by the end of the year, what you want to achieve. And then what are the next steps that you need to do in order to achieve that? Remember, if you've been part of the book club Periscopes recently, the one thing, what is the one thing I could do now that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? For me, I already know my one thing in the morning, I've written it down, is tidy the hell up. I don't want to show you guys, I'm not going to show you, but this desk is a total mess. For me, the one thing that's going to make everything else easier or unnecessary is tidy my desk in the morning. Because it's a joke, and I need a clutter-free environment to work in. But what is that for you in your life, your career, whatever? Put it on video, and then we can all help each other with that. What hashtag should we have? Tony loved hearing from the book. It's a great book, The One Thing. Buy it, guys. Oh, it's right up there, I can't reach it. But yeah, by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. The One Thing, brilliant book. That sounds so scary all on video. Fanny, honestly, you're made of tough stuff. Get yourself out there. Ballsy actors, says Alex. Something that maybe a little less ballsy. What should we have? Like maybe something with like acts on this in it or something, so people know it's to do with that group or something. Just maybe acts on this intro. Why don't we just have that? Acts on this intro. Sasha's read my mind. She's done it. Acts on this intro. Boom. Yeah. Let's do that then. So acts on this intro or intros. Intro singular. Let's do that. Act on this intro, and then put yourself on video. So you know what? The first person to do it gets a prize. And I won't tell you what that is, but it'll be something cool. It's not going to be dead expensive, but the first person to do that, whether it's tonight or tomorrow morning or whatever, I will buy you something as a surprise that will benefit your life, definitely. So do that. But that's it, guys. So that was 3 reasons why it's easier. More than a Freddo. For those who don't know what a Freddo is, that's a chocolate bar that was 10p when I was a kid. Alex, you're now saying that 80p. That's mental. A Starbucks, Warren, a bit better than a Starbucks. 3 reasons why it's easier to succeed than ever before. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Come and be part of the group so we can have chats with you like this as well. Bigger, no makeup and in my PJ, so can't do it now. So 20 pence actually for a Freddo, apparently Fanny says. Those are the days when Freddos were 10p. They weren't. I grew up in a sweet shop. My mum and dad owned a little corner shop where I grew up. So I ate a lot of chocolate as a child. Definitely too much for me, without a doubt. All my milk teeth just kept falling out as I was eating Milky Ways and stuff like that. And a finger of fudge. Oh, none of the tooths come out. Brilliant. Chomps were 10p, and they're now 20p apparently. Mental. But cheers, guys. Thanks so much for watching. So I'll be back on Wednesday. I've not chosen the book for Wednesday yet. Tony, you're in the personal development world. Have you heard of Preston Smiles? Let me know if you haven't what you think of him. Chomps are so good, says Alex. Yeah, chomps are pretty good. Curly Whirlies. You used to love a bit of a curly whirly. I bet they don't make them anymore. They used to seem massive as a kid. To see if Tony's heard of Preston. Not heard of Preston. Okay, really cool guy. So he's done a book. I wonder if I can get this book without knocking everything over, because I'm kind of attached to my iPad with this microphone. Blackjacks, 4 for a half penny? Bloody hell, Nina, what, were you born in Victorian times or what? Crikey, she wasn't really. She was on the Titanic though. She wasn't really, just joking. I love them curly whirlies, says Sasha. So Preston's he's an awesome guy, really great guy. He's a bit of a thought leader. He's big on like relationships, not just like intimate relationships, but just making relationships in the world with yourself, kind of like, growing your circle, upgrading your peer group and that kind of thing. And he's written a book that I just bought the other day called Love Louder, which is 33 ways to amplify your life. It's not all about love, like soppy kind of love, but it's all about things, mindfulness really, and things that aren't, they're not acting related per se, but definitely, well, everything affects everything, doesn't it? It's all part of your life, so it's definitely part of acting. And they're things like, the chapters of the book, things like let go and take the ride, the power of trust in the journey, the key to living is giving, from a seed to a tree, growing gains. This could help you with dating, Tony. Embrace the breakdown, turning our wounds into wisdom. Stop trying to make everyone happy. Define it, then design it. Trust your intuition. Get off the fence and jump. Go hard or go home. They're all chapters on about, kind of growing as a person, which is inevitably going to help you grow as an actor. So that's maybe an option for Wednesday. Let me know what you think of that. You can look it up online and let us know what you think. Fanny says she loves the sound of this. It is cool. He's a great guy. It's a super cheap book as well. This, I think it was only about £5 or something like that from Amazon. It's a brand new release. I follow Preston quite a lot with his podcasts and his videos and stuff, and thought I'd support the guy by buying the book when it came out last week. So that's pretty cool. So maybe that's one. I've got a whole bookshelf of other stuff that I could choose, but we'll see. And if you've got any, if you get what you pay for, so it's funny. I think it was just because it was a special promo. But if you've got any suggestions for books, definitely let me know. Tweet me. You know, if you're an avid reader and there's some things that, whether it's acting related or personal development related or anything like that, then let me know and we'll look at that. But the next book we look at from Wednesday will be the same book we look at for the next 4 weeks. So it's important to choose one that we think we're all going to enjoy, which is cool. Alex is saying, Ross, what, Alex? What's going on? Let's see what he says. Let's put Ross exclamation mark. We're all waiting, Alex. We're all waiting. 15 invaluable laws of growth. John Maxwell. John Maxwell's awesome. So I think you guys are balanced. What happened to the affluence list thing? Oh, do you mean affiliate? The affiliate list. Okay, yeah. So for Acts on this as well, guys. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but if you've got a website or I don't know, any kind of online presence, I'm creating an affiliate program for Acts on this as well, where you can promote the site. It doesn't mean spamming. You've got to be very careful. I can't have people spamming things and you know, just putting adverts out everywhere just for the sake of it. You've got to be, you know, authentic in your promotion. But it means that if you promote Acts on this and you like what you get from it and you like the service that I put out there, the things that I do, if you promote it and people sign up through your link, so you'll have a link exclusive to you. It's got a tracking ID on it, so I know that it's you who sent the person you've given it to the site. If they sign up for a membership, a premium membership, which currently is only £5 a month, it's going to go up eventually because it's been £5 a month for 5 years. It's probably going to double later on this year when there's a lot more of these TV episodes out, because they do cost a fair amount to actually produce, and they're going to be with some of the biggest names in the industry. But if you lock in earlier than that, all your current memberships now, if you're only paying £5 now and you keep your PayPal subscription active, that's all you'll ever pay, by the way. Okay, it's only if you let that lapse and your credit card fails and you have to sign up again that you'll sign up at the new rate. So the guys who are already in for a £5 will stay on it for a £5. It's going to be new people towards the end of the year who will be paying the £9.95 a month to be part of it. But the affiliate scheme, if you send someone and they sign up, you get 50% of that subscription for life. So if they sign up for 3 months at £10 a month, then you get 15 quid. You know, so you get £5 every month that they're a member. If they sign up for 12 months, you get it for 12 months. You get it for however long that they're there on the site. So that's a way of growing the membership and also giving you guys, you know, something back for helping me do that. So Alex must have found the link that's currently kind of quite secret on the site, at the bottom of the site, and signed up. So I've not approved any accounts as of yet, Alex. I'm going to go through that and approve them probably sometime next month, sometime in July. So you guys will get emails through about that once I'm going to send an email out telling everyone about it basically at first as well. But I mean, you'll have your link that you can tweet out and you can put it in emails to people, or you can put it on Facebook. But one thing I can't have is everybody, you know, say you all get an affiliate link and then you all just go to one Facebook group and then everybody starts spamming the wall, sign up with this, like, you know, that's not good, because it just looks desperate and it looks like some kind of crazy marketing thing. So I need people to play the game really, and you know, not do that. Just, you know, help me grow it organically and you know, in a unspammy kind of way. Sasha says that sounds great. Not the spamming. I knew what you meant, Sasha. So yes, that'll be cool. So it will be. It's not something that everyone's going to be able to sign up for. You guys are all more than welcome to, because you know, you've supported me all this time and you're part of this. Other people will be vetted. But yeah, I just want a core group of maybe, you know, 30, 40 affiliates who are spreading the word, putting the word out there. And like I say, anybody who signs up, you'll be able to track all your commissions. It's all completely transparent. You can see how many people you're sending to the site, all your stats, and how much money you've earned. And then you just need a PayPal account. Once a month, every month, automatically it gets paid into your PayPal account, and job done. You don't need to do anything else. But spread the word, which is cool. But yeah, I'll give you more information on that later next month, guys. Awesome. Right, well, I've kept you long enough. Bloody hell, it's 10 to 11. Go and get some sleep. I'm going to crack on with tidying this mess up, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Well, we might be looking at this book, but I don't know whether we will. Let me know. Time flies, says Sasha. It certainly does. But have a great one. And remember, yeah, those 3 things. It's never been easier to succeed. Please remember that. It doesn't mean it's easy. It just means it's never been easier. Okay. Thanks, Ross. Going to watch the interview with Chris now. Yeah, do that, Warren. Please let me know what you think of that. And for anybody else who's not seen the interview with Chris yet, go to actonthis.tv. It's on the homepage. It's called Getting Ahead by Getting Started with award-winning filmmaker Chris Stone. And it's a really good, honest, fun chat. We have a laugh, but there's some real decent, kind of tips and tricks in there if you want to get into independent film or start creating your own films and get you over that fear of putting yourself out there. So do it, and don't forget your Act on This intros, guys. I'll post about that in the Facebook group right now. First person to do the first intro, get a surprise. All right. Have a good one. I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you on the replay. Appreciate you, and I'll see you Wednesday night. Bye for now.